and then I guess just double
It's we're
check
live.
that
We're live.
like
Sorry.
the audio levels are good, but
Yeah, they
people
look
will tell
okay.
us if they're
Yeah,
not.
I can switch them too. I have a very easy adjustment period here.
Okay. Do you got anything? Or I'll wait till the stream
Yeah.
starts.
Save it for the show, Regis.
Say exactly. That was a good Kelly Ripa impression.
It was. No, that was more Kathy Lee Gifford.
Pinnacle's not loading up. It looks like we're live. What's going on, guys?
Yeah.
Big Ryan, the fat guy, coming at you with the what is it? NFL Week 15 or is it Week 16 now? I'm so out of the loop. But either way,
16.
San Fran's playing Tennessee tonight. It's Week 16. San Fran's 3.5 point favorites. Fat guy, do you have anything on tonight's matchup?
I do. I technically have Tennessee +3 +111. That was an over-the-counter price, as I like to say.
Yeah.
This does seem kind of low though. Like this seems like it should be a San Fran -4.5. You know what I mean? So like the contrarian in me kind of likes Tennessee. Oh, hello,
Yeah,
football
there's
fans.
the yeah, what's going on, Jackson? How you doing? How was that exam? It's probably been a couple weeks. You're like, which exam? I've written a bunch.
Yeah.
Let's I've made a couple marketplace tonight. San Fran against the spread -3.5 at +101, and then the over 45.5 at -101.
I don't like the San Fran play. It's a little late, I think.
Yeah, +101. San Fran, Tennessee, over +101.
When's this game officially start? I feel like it's behind. Like,
Take a look and see. It's usually it's usually 5:20 Pacific time for Thursday night games. I'm just gonna take a look. Yeah, it is 5:20, 8:20, 6:20, depending on where you are, but the 20 minutes is the key portion. And the I believe this is the last Thursday night game for the rest of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
that would make sense.
It's a little bit weird this year because there is an extra week, so I'm not sure how this all takes place. But I know looking at the schedule ahead of time, I think this is the last Thursday night game, which would be nice. These Thursday nighters are a little bit lackluster at times.
It's so weird. It's like,
And even just in the last minute, there's been a huge swing on the juice for Tennessee Titans. They're now +3.5 at -118 at Pinnacle. So
there you have it.
some late movement on Tennessee. I'm not sure if I'm coming in. Things are loading pretty slowly for me.
You're coming in fine. It might not match up with your video though. I'm not looking at that. I got that game in front of me, live from Nashville.
Jackson, there's been a lot of like COVID stuff going on. So I know that Tennessee has just been dealing with some injuries, but Tannehill's still playing. They have the left side of their offensive line, though, is decimated. They're out Taylor Lewan, they're out Kendall Lamb. So they're starting a rookie left guard at left tackle tonight, and Roger Saffold's also out. So there's going to be a replacement left guard as well. It's that's a pretty bad cluster injury on the left side of the offensive line. But the juices move so heavy towards Tennessee. Like this might come down to a -3 game, just looking at the juice. What am I trying to do here?
Chris Rose, David Carr, and Daniel Jeremiah. I don't remember these this lineup. I feel so bad for the Browns.
Because of their loss last week.
Ugh.
Or a few days ago.
Yeah.
It's all part of it, though. Like that football is, right? Got to make the most out of whatever you got that week, and
cut out a little bit there, Big Rye. Hello, Mickey. Sir, I'm crushing this Five Guys burger. I need just a second to get fully engaged. There you are.
I'm back now.
Oh.
I'm having a tough time over here, internet-wise. Let's go.
Nick Bosa. It's so crazy that there's two, like, I guess you could say with the Manning brothers, but like the Bosa brothers, and the Watt brothers, it's so weird. Like, I don't know. I guess genes are a thing, but like to come out of the same family, yeah, exactly.
It's interesting to think about like the people that like becoming an NFL player is actually fathomable, because you need so many things to go right. Like you could even have like the perfect body and everything to play, but like if you don't have the time to actually put into practice and like have the benefit to be able to like, you know, spend your time playing football as a kid, like it's interesting. I can't tell if I'm cutting out or not. I'm getting nothing back from the fat guy, so
sorry,
I'm just going to assume I'm cutting
better.
out.
Yeah, it was bad for a bit. It's okay now.
Okay.
So I'm the bad guy. I'm the only guy with Tennessee.
Zaps is on Titans +3.5, -110. Fat guy's on Titans +3. Mickey's on Niners -3. I'm on Niners -3.5. It's I can't remember it being so split evenly a game, which just means that it's the line's at the right price.
Probably, yeah. Ted DiBiase. Man, I know. No wonder this was 25 cents. This this hand sanitizer. If I run out of alcohol, I'm pretty sure I know a substitute. Holy, it stinks. It smells like my uncle's. Here we go.
I'd ask which one, but it'd be kind of like rhetoric.
Yeah, it would. There aren't that many left anymore. Not after this summer. Holy. How many do I have left? 3. 3 from 7. Yikes.
Yeah, I jumped on the over for minus one.
Little cutout there.
I got plus 101 or minus 101 on both of those. Yeah, I'm on the over 45.5 for this game at minus 101.
I like the Tennessee Titans. Like, the thing is, though, is it's weird when, like, a star player like Derrick Henry, like, obviously he's, very good, but he's, like, the funny thing is his position isn't that impactful. So it's like that weird, like, excuse situation. Like, if Tennessee doesn't perform well, they can always just go, oh, well, the Derrick Henry's hurt, so that means, like, you're allowed to lose. So I find it strange how, like, whereas, like, offensive line injuries kind of like just people don't care as much, even though they're way more impactful. Kind of like the Washington. Go ahead.
Especially like a cluster.
Yeah.
Like a cluster injury at O-line is so, like, it's so bad. And essentially it comes down to, like, are the play callers able to be flexible enough on play calls to, like, get past that? Like Mike Martz. I know everyone talks about him infamously calling, like, his 7-step drops. Like,
9.
he'd get destroyed, right? You can't do 7-step drops with a bunch of backup linemen. It just doesn't work.
No.
But we have seen teams, like, take advantage of it in the past. I don't know how much I'm cutting out or if I'm still here.
It's okay. There's a little bit of interference, but
a snowstorm just hit like an hour before I started it up. So, but today, I'll just check on my phone. It's actually 7 degrees outside.
It's not bad at all.
No, sorry, minus 14. I just had to update.
Oh.
It's minus 14 right now. And let's start it pretty much just after Christmas. It's supposed to be almost minus 30, which I think when we checked in Fahrenheit is like minus 10 Fahrenheit. So it's starting to get pretty cold. Trent Williams is on SPFF.
Sorry, you're cutting out there, Big Ryan. Hello? Oh, shoot. It's tough.
Is it impossible for an offensive line MVP?
Hello?
Like, well, what would...
I better message him on offline. Oh. There we go. I think maybe it's better now.
So you're better now. No. I'm gonna see if I can get a Wi-Fi.
Let me check, Mickey. I'm closer to the water. It's 3 degrees right now, which I don't know what that is in. Like, you'd think we would know by now. 3 degrees Celsius to Fahrenheit. I can even spell Fahrenheit at this point. Yeah, I got it right. 37.4 Fahrenheit. It's fine. It's fine. That's probably the fastest I've ever eaten Five Guys before. It's so good, there's no reason to slow down, one. And two, it's good for the stream, good for the views, right? Good for the clicks. Fat guy shovels 2 Five Guys burgers in his face very fast. I gotta get a shave and a haircut tonight. This is gonna be annoying.
You're doing that tonight? Is it? Yeah. Do you have it like scheduled with somebody, or are you gonna do it on your own?
My wife cuts my hair and shaves me now. So
nice.
Oh yeah, we save like what, a few $100 a year? Why not?
I've changed to a different Wi-Fi, so I'm hoping that it should be improved.
Yeah, get the likes up, exactly. Mind you, my current appearance, the activities it conveys are accurate. Huddled in one room doing various gambling activities. Like that's really it. I find it very strange in some of the pick videos this year, like I don't know, like the sentiments, like it feels like we're going backwards here. Not us necessarily, but like people are more emboldened with like their perception of knowledge, if that makes any sense. It's very, very interesting. Like the comment section, I kind of missed the point on a lot of stuff. So, or maybe just I'm not a good communicator, which is always a problem.
Well, I think that the thing is that some of it is philosophic, and people are very stuck in a certain philosophy or a certain way of thinking. So it becomes tough to listen to like a different point of view and then change your mind, right? Whether it's right, whether it's wrong is,
yeah, that's true.
It's up to anybody. Like the thing that's interesting, right, is when people are very, very confident in something, but they don't have anything to like back it up other than maybe they bet 3 times and they've won 2. So
yeah, they're therefore
they know better. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Appreciate it, Whoop Dog. Thank you for the likes. Fat Guy, did you make it official? Ask Mickey.
No, I didn't. That'll be probably early February, but fiance just sounds like a guy who wears an ascot, says something like that. I don't own an ascot, so I've just cut that middleman out. What, is she going to say no now? This might be the only time I've ever truly been confident about something.
I can already see name of the week next week is going to be Fat Guy's Ascot.
Should be.
We're all over the place, Tony. There's no consensus tonight. So Fat Guy's on
Tennessee plus 3 plus 111.
Yeah. I'm on San Fran. Minus 3.5. I'm on the over 45.5 for this game. Mickey's gonna head to check the total. What are you on, Tony? Because I know usually you've already made your play. I know Zaps is on Titans, Mickey's on San Fran. It's very conflicted tonight, which just means it's
probably a good line.
It's a good one.
But the funny thing is, like, whoever wins is most likely will think that they're deserving of the win and they got it right. It's just human behavior.
Yeah. We've got the pundits picking right now. 2 guys have San Fran winning by 4. DJ is San Fran winning by 3. So all 3 guys pick San Fran. Probably best to take Tennessee money line. Tony's on San Fran -3 for 2 units. Titan said, or Zap said, Titan said, Zap said Titans D line has averaged 15 pressures per game through their first 9 games. That number had dropped down to an average 6.5 pressures per game in their last 6 games. And he did the little monocle. You have to think that, like, this is where, like, what the value of Derrick Henry, like, for actual, like, play to play is pretty minimal, but, like, you wonder how much it changes everything else about the game.
You mean defensive regression? Something that you and I really believe in, and a lot of analytics guys I feel don't consider, you know?
Yeah, like, how does it affect, like, forget what happens on that one play, but, like, how does it affect the team? How does it affect how that team is coached? How does it affect how that team plays? Like, I'd be interested to see what the snaps for the defense is, like games with Henry, games without Henry. And he's like
Not
such
even
an
snaps,
extreme
but
example.
like, let's call it like meaningful snaps. Like, do you know what I mean? Like high effort snaps, if that makes any sense. That's probably not the best way of putting it, but like times where you have to get it done, right? Like I feel like it's different. It's just when they calculate EPA and they talk about time of possession, they think the trend line for defense is flat. It's not. It's not. It's down. The defense gets worse as time goes on. That's why we always talk about fourth quarter pass rush, you know. And again, I don't have like the exact number with how much defenses regress over a game, and that'll be stacked on the pile of things we have to do. But there's no defense that isn't a tired defense. Or sorry, so there's no tired defense that's a good defense. In point case too, there's me and Big Rye's first bet is we bet on a future Kansas City Chiefs over 7.5 wins. Now that was when they had the first overall pick and they had Matt Castle, and they switched to Andy Reid, and their defense went from 32nd in the NFL in I think yards and points allowed to first. And all that changed was the offense. The defense personnel didn't even change. Really, it was. I mean, obviously they had a new coordinator, but no coordinator makes a worst to first type of leap. And they went from a high turnover quarterback, Matt Castle, to Alex Smith, and they went into a West Coast offense that kind of churns clock. Andy Reid really does do that, ironically, especially with Alex Smith because he didn't have the arm that Mahomes did. So those offenses were a lot closer. There were more quarterback runs. That was a different team. Jamal Charles too as well. So like they went from time of possession, the defense was on the field from like I think it was 35 minutes to 24 minutes. And that 9 minutes of play time is as much as the analytics guys don't think that matters, I think that matters immensely. No, Big Rye did get the worst of it looks like.
Yeah, I haven't kept my eye on Pinnacle. I'll actually bring that over so I can check it if I need to. But yeah, the line's down to 3. The OU's 45. So the only thing I'm not sure of, but I can check, is the OU actually didn't really move. Like the juice moved by the juice moved from +101 to +102. So it's really not that bad, even though it looks bad.
I think Tennessee could do a logo change, to be honest.
You don't like that?
No, or
I don't even know what it is. It's like a flame with a button.
It's an eternal flame.
I couldn't tell you what it is.
It's kind of like Clash of the Titans or whatever. Like it's at least I think. I don't know where the stars come from. That's very pro America though, which is I always like that kind of stuff. But I don't know. It looks hokey. I don't know.
It's always been a team that I've liked. I've got the Air McNair jersey, like I've always been like that light blue I always like. So Titans have always been a fan favorite for me.
Deebo Samuel, his fantasy appeal is interesting. Like he's starting. Like I think he might be the most valuable receiver when you think about it, just because of the running back like the carries and attention he gets at running back.
With how he's been used this year, it's been very nice to have him.
It'd be hard to say he's not
Um,
number one. Obviously, we were going to say Cooper Cup, but like Cooper Cup, I don't think has the same sustainability as Deebo Samuel does with the amount of carries he gets. So
you could argue the other way because I think you're a lot more likely to get hurt the more touches you have, especially if they're coming from the running back position. But I know what you mean. Like as far as value and consistency, Deebo Samuel has been very, very good and very consistent.
I got to be honest though, like when it comes to like injury and stuff like that, like I almost don't even think it really matters in terms of higher round picks in fantasy. You have to win. You pretty much need a healthy four horses. You know, I mean, somehow I'm in the semifinals in the Big Ryan, the Fat Guy now, and my what is it? My first two picks, Eckler and Henry, are going to be out. So, and I just think like
it's tough.
It is tough. Eckler might come back, but it's unlikely. Henry's definitely out because it's be the game he's playing. I'm playing his backup Donta Foreman over Damian Harris. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Foreman's getting the carries. I'm just worried Harris is going to fall in that like that Patriots spell where they just go Ramondre Stevenson the whole way. There's no real.
It's tough because both of those guys have been like in and I have to double check, but they both have injury designations, and I don't know how much either guy's been practicing this week.
Exactly. And I'm not sure. Like, I almost think that Harris is the higher upside guy, but I think he has more. Ramondre Stevenson might have more weight from the coaching staff because I think he's more likely to secure the ball better. Like he's less likely to fumble. So.
Well, what's interesting is like we've done like fantasy playoffs, and like Stevenson would probably be one of the, first. Well, he probably wouldn't be a first round pick, but he'd be like one of those interesting guys that if New England makes it to the Super Bowl,
Leonard
it's probably
Fournette
because
last year?
he's had big days. Yeah,
I love those drafts.
just like Fournette.
Those I've done so well though. Like, of course, it's easy for me to say, like that. Well, I invented them to be real. Like, it was me and those guys at the bar.
It was a bar game that's turned into something more. But fantasy football is the same way, right? One day, a bunch of nerds got bored and decided they were going to do this, and it caught on.
Yeah.
Anytime you can monetize or make a betting system out of anything, guys are always going to be into
I'm trying to think. I think at the bar I went 4-0. You and I would prep though a little bit before I went in, and the other guy is just writing it on a bar napkin. Like it's not like a completely fair game. So, and my knowledge is a lot deeper than his, especially back then.
Well, what I really loved is you kind of just touched on it. Like there was like technically they didn't think there was any prep. It was like off the top of my head, this is who I draft.
Oh, I always do that.
It was so far from that for us, and that's what made it such an advantage. So
yeah. Well, that was always my rub is like when I ever took bets, bartending, taking bets is like on UFC, I would study all the lines beforehand so I'd have them memorized, and then if I did forget one, I just go to the bathroom, right? But like I would be like, and I'd always do that. If I have to take the guy who's shitty, I need good odds. Like, I'd always say something like that. And then just juice it, 30 points. But that's not my fault. They don't know how to negotiate, right? So I've never felt bad about that. But I never greased anyone, like, really, really. And I never cheated anyone. I always paid. It's just some people have an understanding of odds and some people don't. So weird seeing Wes Welker on the sideline there. Look how small he looks, too.
This is different when you don't have pads on.
It definitely is. That run worked out way better than I thought it was going to.
Jeff Wilson, a nice big pounding back. It's amazing, like San Fran, just how they're built. Like you can pretty much put anyone back there and they're going to have success.
Well, they have.
Like Raheem Mostert is maybe the best back they have, and the guy was a special teamer pretty much everywhere else in his career.
Matt Breida had a lot of success with this offense.
So Jeff Wilson was one of the lead blockers there for Deebo Samuel on that play.
And it worked. That play.
Fat Guy gives them at least a little foreplay.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That was the fun. Big Rye would often come and watch me in negotiating work. Oh, going, oh, I don't know. Or Canucks games, because Canucks were the local team, so I always got the best of those. Is okay because if the Canucks were underdogs, it was always even money. You know.
Well, the other thing too that was funny is like that was at the time when I was really studying, trying to practice like getting like seeing American odds and being able to translate it into percentages really quickly. So Fat Guy would like say something and he'd look at me and like he would treat me like some savant, even though I was so far from it. Because he'd just ask me a question and I'd yell out an answer like instantly, even though like him and I would like plan and prep and get ready for this kind of stuff. It was fun. It was definitely fun.
I made a like I only worked 1 day a week, but I made a living just on that day, and it certainly wasn't from working.
Yeah.
I don't know why I jumped there. That is it. I hope that's not a flag. I hate when
They've all
guys. Go ahead.
I was gonna say they've all the San Fran guys have really been fighting for those extra yards, which is like it's like a blessing and a curse at the same time because that's how you're gonna get hurt doing stuff like that, first of all. And
Well,
second of all, like with how this offense has been humming, like for these first few plays, it's like kind of unnecessary.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't like how like they're clearly going out of bounds, and like what's the defense supposed to do? Let up? Like if it's a quarterback, they don't have a choice because you're gonna give up 15 if you don't. Like you have to give up 2 instead of 15 because you can't plow a running quarterback out of bounds. It's just not allowed.
Yeah.
It's clearly a league mandate, though. Man, Trent Williams looks huge, dude.
It's cool to see him playing so well because he's been kind of up and down the last few seasons.
He's an incredible player. He's if you're doing a fantasy draft, he'd be a first round pick.
Yeah, it's hard to argue.
It's very hard to argue that. Is there a flag here? Well, it won't matter. Debo Samuel. Oh! Dude, Buster's screen? What a name, eh? I don't know if this ball's out or not. I can't tell from that angle.
They just freezed it. He looks down with the ball, but
You
who
can't see the
knows?
ball from behind, though.
Oh, they were showing it from the front, and they've got Jeff Wilson in. Looks like he's in for the touchdown.
That's just how you do an NFL drive. 5.5 minutes. Pretty, and
Yeah,
that was
that
like
was
a
awesome.
beat down. This team is a scary team. I don't even find them that good on defense, to be honest, but like they're good enough. It's just this offense can carry you. It's the best running offense probably, like in terms of versatility and big playability. Like they can run the ball with all their wide receivers can run the ball, all of them. Did that go through? Wow, that was got to be the ugliest extra point.
So live line San Fran -7.5, money line -335, OU's 49.5 after
What
that score.
what's Jimmy G's interception rate? It's got to be pretty low. Like I'm starting to think that I don't know, for some reason I feel like he might be one of the lowest.
I'll take a look. Well, Garoppolo's third for NEA. He's at 18 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. So not the best, but it's okay.
Sorry, can you repeat that one more time? He's how many for interceptions?
18 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. So his
It's
interception
not
rate's
great.
2.1%,
That's
which if I
okay.
had to organize by that, puts him pretty much average. Like
Yeah, I
that's
was
the
gonna say
average
12.
interception rate.
I don't. How much does he have involved though in like the run game and adapting to the run game? Because like he's had some really good showings. Because like yeah, he
I
might
think he
not.
is, to be honest. I think he is quite involved.
It,
And Garoppolo's third for NEA. So using that stat, only Stafford and Rodgers have been better than him this year. And then there's a little bit of a gap for him. And then there's a big gap is Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, Tom Brady, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott. So it's been an excellent season. Like I thought it was so interesting that the offseason, like I know they drafted Trey Lance, but like the whole offseason was like they're gonna trade him, they're gonna trade him. And like, Garoppolo is not Aaron Rodgers, but he's also not, the guy just knows how to win games.
yeah, that's what I mean. He adds a lot of win probability. Yeah, I don't think I think Wentz is a tier below though to be Mickey, but you are right. Like crisis plays, that's a term that you invented. I use it now. I think it encapsulates like exactly how though like where those big mistakes from those guys come. Like they it's not even panicking. It's just like if it's a really dire situation, they tend to take the worst course of action.
In San Fran, like they've been good, but they haven't been like the best team in the league, let's say, over the last few seasons. And he's been there for 5 years, Garoppolo, and he's 30-13 in San Fran. Like that is pretty impressive. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and Zap says it. Jimmy G has 0 big time throws and 10 turnover worthy plays while under pressure. Yeah, yeah, but I mean like not just pressure, but like really dire pressure. And yeah, it is kind of that way, and that like that's the thing that kind of bugs you a little bit. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Brady definitely just eats it. Manning, he would eat it. Both the
Well,
Mannings.
those guys are like it's funny to say those two quarterbacks, Brady and Manning, are all time bad NFL athletes. Like in terms of like the physical part of the game, they're abysmal, absolutely abysmal. That doesn't, but that's the intelligence meritocracy of the NFL. If you're smart, you can get it done, especially at quarterback. Oh my, you couldn't. Why did he even throw that? Like throw it at his feet. Like I don't understand. What that was like brutal. I haven't seen a screen get
This
blown up
is
like this maybe ever.
Well, it wasn't even like the tackle tried to let him go by. Like that's trouble. Yeah, the Titans are missing. They've got it here. Kendall Lamb, Taylor Lewan, and Roger Saffold are all out. They've got a rookie left guard starting at left tackle. So I can only imagine who's playing left guard, considering that was the best option at left tackle.
Who's that? Dontrell Hilliard? Who's that running back number 40?
Uh, Pull it up and find out.
I thought he was on the Texans. I'm so confused.
Dontrell Hilliard, yeah.
It is Dontrell Hilliard.
They hold up there and a completion, it looks like. So really, really good on that first like key third down play by the Tennessee O
That's
line.
tough, man. That's a tough play to do, like to pull off. And that's like, it's so weird. Like football compounds critical plays. I feel like that was actually a very early critical play for, like this game could get out of hand. I miss when the Titans had a good old line. It just hasn't been quite what it should be for some time. Oh, that was bad from Tannehill. That was really bad. He's had two bad ones now. That first screen and then that.
Well, that's think about like if you just lose it on someone like in that situation, it's such a poor like at least I think it's a poor way to handle things. Like you're playing on the same team, you're just trying to get better and trying to win. Like getting mad at somebody for doing something bad is like so dumb. Like you got to teach them what they did wrong and what they need to do.
I I
But like,
I slightly disagree in terms. I think it's a case by case basis. Some guys respond to a lashing; they just do. You know what I mean? They respond to passion. Some guys you have to take different approaches, right? I would imagine that's probably the best way to go with Carson Wentz, who was a bit of a baby with the Eagles when he lost his job. So it's probably the right. I think it's a case by case basis. Some guys need to get yelled at. Just that's how you get them straight. To be real. The soft approach doesn't work like all the time because of lack of consequences. So, but generally
well, I
speaking,
think there's still, I still think there's consequences. Like if you're playing bad, you're not going to play. Like but I know what you mean.
well, like
I know
how
everybody
though,
reacts differently.
how like for the Colts, Carson Wentz has to do like 7 more of those to even be consideration, right? So like there isn't immediate consequences whatsoever, right, for someone like him in that type of position. Brady throws up a 0. Like, is there is there a thought at putting in Blaine Gabbert for the next game? Not at all, right? So, not that Brady's 30 or 40 whatever years old, so not that he would respond, but some people would. Ah, I was hoping that punt had backspin. Me neither, Zaps. So I hate to say it, but like they might have to chuck it here, which is not. It's not gonna be. This could be an easy route here. This could be a Niners under thing. I thought it looked too easy for the Niners too, but
Well, we've seen one drive from each side. There's still a lot of game to go.
yeah.
Dylan Redunz is at least a second round pick this year, but you're asking a lot for him to like start at left tackle. Yeah, Brady's older than his O coordinator. Isn't his O coordinator the
Byron Leftwich?
quarterback? Yeah, Leftwich, the man with the slowest release of all time. You don't see a lot of quarterbacks with slow releases anymore.
I never minded him, to be real. I didn't mind betting on him either. He's one of those guys that usually fell in like the odd cover range. Jacksonville was a fun team to bet on during that 07 to 2013 period, 2012. Like they were a team that like they weren't a hopeless team. They were a team that lost all the time, but they were in games. You know what I mean? Same with like those Cleveland teams. Whereas now it's just like so pathetic.
Yeah.
I'd like the Niners to have success though. I find their offense exciting to watch.
Well, Shanahan's like an enigma. Like he's done things that are really, really good, and sometimes like I feel like he was like one of the favorites to be the first coach fired this year. Like not a favorite, but like
but he's in the
he was in like the
conversation,
top.
like the back
He was in like
tier.
the top 6 or 7.
Yeah. And like we thought John Lynch would be like that's generally not a way to go to hire a GM who's an ex-player, but I mean he might have been hired on merit and he's done a pretty good job, let's be honest. Like they
I
found
think the
cheap
roster is
options.
good.
The roster is good. It's good. And like they have you know what I mean? Like they have potentially a future quarterback in Trey Lance. Like I don't think that draft capital is lost. Man, these running plays are deafening.
there's just so many like mismatches for these guys. Like it's
Man, George
a lot of
Kittle.
like positional mismatches with Kittle and Samuel and Ayuk.
Well, he's probably the best skill player in the league. George Kittle, the most valuable at least.
It's what you and I always say because
Well, it's
it's
hard.
just not
He has an
it's not
effect on
close for the
100%
flexibility
of the
he has.
snaps.
Yeah.
100% of the snaps, he has an effect. Like wide receiver, you can take out of the game like pretty easily. Same with the running back. Like does a running back really have an impact all three downs? Like I don't know. And also too the gap in running backs. Like UDFA running backs are. It's not the same gap between a star running back and a UDFA running back. It is compared to like a two-way star tight end and like a blocking practice squad tight end. Like the gap is enormous between the two. Yeah, I would. San Fran is hard to catch up to. They're gonna burn. It's gonna be 3 possessions for a whole quarter. You know, like potentially here.
They just have so many ways to attack you. It becomes really hard on defense. Flag on this play. I don't know if it was on
I
a
think it's
hold
on
on San
20.
Fran or
That might be a face mask on 26, even though he says he got hold there. Because he pulled him by the face. Who's 17?
I'm not sure, some sort of depth receiver.
It could be 2 flags.
It's a face mask on the defense. So
It was
tack on
that
what,
play.
another 15 yards.
Yeah, it looked like he pulled Juszczyk's helmet. It really did. And that was just me see like I can't imagine what it would look like on the field, right? So
It's Travis Benjamin, number 17.
is it really?
Mm-hmm. And he didn't even get the face mask, so they kind of got jagged there.
Oh, it was his shoulder. From my angle, it looked like a face mask. That's really bad call. Wow.
That was a really bad call. Yeah, phantom face mask. Mickey agrees.
You know what you should do though, I think on defense is why die a slow death. I remember the Chargers did this when they were in the same division
Oh
as
yeah,
the
that
high
was unreal.
impact Broncos. And I think they won both games. They were like 14.5 point underdogs. They just sold out. Full on blitz or no blitz, or like full on run stuff, or like played back. Like it's. I think you should just sell it on the run, man. Play man on every other receiver and literally just have everyone crash the line. Like you have the high propensity to give up big plays, but like you also have a very high chance of a better chance of winning the game. Let's put it that way. Like you're gonna have egg on your face way more than usual, but it's worth it.
I remember
This
the
is so
Chargers, they went like all
easy.
secondary players. I forget who they were playing, but like
Baltimore,
a huge part of that was having Derwin James's.
Baltimore. I was talking about the Chargers from like 12 years ago too. When they played Manning's Broncos before Manning's like body kind of left him when they were still an
Yeah.
offensive team. How does Debo get 2 yards there? That's crazy. That's absolutely
He's
crazy.
he's got a very interesting
Gate.
like he's very agile, but he's very powerful.
Well,
Like when he
he's
needs to be, like he
220,
can
isn't
kind of
he?
he looks like he's 225, like,
I think he is too.
but he's also like a slender 225, like he's probably 6'2".
Yeah. He's a powerful man.
They intercepted, huge turn of events here for Tennessee.
Oh, you're ahead of me. I didn't see it.
It looks like Janoris Jenkins, if I'm not mistaken.
That's like
Yeah, the Jackrabbit.
Yeah,
There's Jimmy G's first what the fuck play, pretty much.
that's a bad idea. I feel like they don't
Despite
lob it
that
enough.
turnover, still 7.5. Well, that's like if you had to think about Garoppolo, like Garoppolo's not much of like a touch passer, right? It's
I don't know if
pretty
that's.
consistent how it comes out.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't like. There's a lot of guys where it's just I don't know. They just really zing it in there. So and like you could say Herbert, but like uh, every time I see him, the window is so tiny. I'm like, he had to throw that like a laser beam, and I'm, you know, I don't think I'm unfair in like expecting receivers to catch those. You're dominating them. Why hit on 17? Yeah, it's a good point, Mickey. Like that's the decision making is always at the forefront of playing quarterback, though. That's why you have like one of the best players in the league is like old enough to be a young grandfather. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's that level. Like I don't think Tom Brady could beat anyone in a race or any physical competition. Anybody in the league. Like maybe the fattest of linemen, maybe. And he generally makes really good decisions. Like they kind of got a gift here. They're gonna need to put points on the board. I think this is more dire than general situations is what's going on right now.
You're just
Yikes.
asking a lot from Tannehill with this offensive line and a set, like I don't want to say no run game, but like that was a nice play by Jenkins. That's kind of tough, right? Because Garoppolo had already made up his mind and expected one thing, and it didn't happen, and that's what you get when you make that play.
First red zone interception since 2019. Well, I guess that's like probably the nicest way you could frame that, right?
Yeah.
That's a good gain. Man, Buster's screen is playing like you're in. That's not a good sign. And like Janoris Jenkins, this is like those guys were okay like 8 years ago. Like they're pretty old secondary players. If you get 2 yards, I think you should go for it.
Well, it takes us to the end of the first quarter.
I hate plays like that so much. I hate them. It's always like when you get a if you ran like a pitch to the outside and like old Madden, and uh and you get stopped in the backfield. The game is played north and south.
Yeah. Well, like that's pretty much San Fran's entire playbook is like revolves around those types of plays, but they have very different personnel. And I'm not talking about like who has the ball. I'm talking about like who's blocking on that play. Like if you go back and look at who was blocking on that play. Like it's laughable. Like guys are missing blocks. Like that's such a bad play to run if you're not going to like have all 11 guys doing what they need to do.
That's another thing about like the perfect run game is you do need like it just like it's a good way of separating coaching because you really do need all guys to engage. The only thing I found about running that I always like when I was younger, in my early 20s, and I always found perplexing is like the quarterback always hands it off, so it's 11 on 10. He just stands out of the way. Like it sounds weird, but I think there should be like the quarterback should be incorporated in some of the running.
Well, that's why like teams like Baltimore has just gone all out because there's like they're the only team. Well, I shouldn't say the only team, but like they've gone all in on having a quarterback that's going to be running the ball. Like it's a must. Like it's part of how that team's built because of Lamar Jackson. But like they've got Huntley. Like I'd have to look at who else they have because they signed someone else that's similar. And
They had Bob Griffin before. Like it's not,
yeah.
and then it's probably
Baltimore.
Trace McSorley. They got rid of him, but like it's not like he's gonna get scooped up.
It's Josh Johnson, so I take it back. Like Josh Johnson isn't the most mobile guy, but he's
It's not
still
the worst.
yeah. Josh Johnson has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 different teams he's played for since 2012.
He might be the most
crazy.
of all time.
It's pretty crazy.
He probably makes good money.
I'd have to pull up his SPO track.
Because they probably have to pay you for the whole year if they sign you. Like it's only like $600,000 in his case, but like sometimes that's like 2 and 3 times a year. So I don't know. Like he might have a pretty sweet gig here.
Yeah, he might.
And he's like the 40th best quarterback in the world. So it's like that weird, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like he's always a perennial backup.
But not even backup, like rotating backup.
Yeah. Well, no one's like got him as the backup going, this is the guy of the future if we just build him up. Like
yeah, exactly. I want to know though,
you know
like
what you're getting.
he had a nice like game for the Jets when he backed up Mike White and Mike White got hurt. Like I want to know how he got out of that. Like, and I got a question for you too. How can you justify paying someone like Joe Flacco when like Josh Johnson did okay? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or Mike White did okay.
I just read a Roto World update because Flacco tested positive and he's unvaccinated. So they're saying that they decided to trade for him, like use draft capital, bring him in. He's tested positive twice. So he essentially is out for 4 weeks because of that. Like it's a weird way to use your, like why bring Josh Johnson out for a guy like that? Like,
yeah, I'm not sure that like the way a PCR test says has anything to do with being vaccinated or not. Like, I don't even think that matters at all.
Well, it's not about the testing. It's the fact that like if the guy is out, he's going to miss 2 weeks guaranteed.
Yeah, but he's just as likely as someone. But then again, they have different rules for people that are vaccinated, not vaccinated. So that does complicate things a little bit. But then how has Aaron Rodgers like avoided so much of this? I don't know. It's a very confusing and perplexing thing. But they'll probably end up going the NBA route where, well, they already did. They already kind of caved a little bit on like how to designate players and stuff like that, and like, I guess the risks associated. Same with the NBA. Like, I don't like they're not going to be as stringent going forward. Man, this is going to be a rough game, I think, for the Titans. I was expecting something surprising, and I'm seeing the Madden simulation obvious.
Well, just so much of like Tennessee has enough injuries on offense where it's just trouble, and then it's going to put more emphasis on this defense as the game goes along. The only thing is like Tennessee should be able to score some points late, with the defense tiring out and there being like a more neutral like matchup between the O line and D line. But the start of this game, it's just tough. It's
No,
just tough for
I
the
think it's looking
Titans.
like a clear blowout. Like I'd be very surprised. Like I would like San Fran minus 7.5. I hope I eat my words. I really do, but this is the only time I've been convinced of like game flow. Because usually I just throw live betting out the window and I don't care. You know, I don't even think about it or consider it. This is the only time I've seen it where I'm like, I really don't like this other team's chances.
Yeah, sure, Mickey. Think. Oh, apparently that doesn't work.
Interesting to go to use check deep. He was open though, like very open. Is that Jamichael Hasty?
Michael Hasey's 23, so I didn't see who it was.
Yeah, it was Hasty. Third and 4. I don't
Third
feel
and 4 here.
San Fran's aggressive enough either. Like you should try and pick this up in 2. And I don't even think like there's a that feels like a false start on George Kittle. Like here, I want to see what they do now. This should be a clear go for it.
It looks like they're going for it as I can see.
Think of 10 years ago how this just didn't happen. Like no one, like people didn't operate like this.
Well, I remember there was the Patriots.
Yeah, the
Colts.
Patriots Colts going for it on 4th and 2 in like very shallow territory. I like the lineup of the Titans to be real. Oh my, Samuel bails him out. What a play. That was pretty nicely designed though. I mean, it was hairy though for a second, that's for sure.
Well, it almost looked like Garoppolo thought he was going to have to run for it,
He
but
did.
then
He did.
he decided to make that throw to Samuel. Samuel looks like he's just huffing air every time he goes to the sideline.
Oh, he is. I'm happy that they went for it. It gives me more confidence in them.
I was trying to remember where Shanahan was on that aggressiveness list or like fourth down decision list.
I think he was like in the bottom third, or maybe slightly below average. I could be mistaken though. I don't remember him being in the top 7 teams. But again, the Rolodex isn't very good these days.
Got a Wilson screen. Really nice tackle by 41. I really do like a lot of the inside linebackers that are on both these teams. In here, so not an easy down for San Fran to get it done.
I almost think hyper aggressive here, like thinking end zone it might be a way of going.
There's a big time hold.
Oh man. Oh man.
I'm actually interested to see if Tennessee takes this penalty and tries to push him back. Oh, it sounded like he just mouthed offsetting, which is a pretty bad break for Tennessee.
Sorry, what just happened?
But I believe it's going to be Ollie's. They haven't announced it yet, though.
But like what did I didn't see a penalty on Tennessee. Obviously, I'm not there for the whole thing, but
I didn't either. I just saw, but my connection's disconnected right now.
they're gonna give him a 15-yard penalty.
Bud.
Oh, offsetting.
I don't know. It's saying 3rd and 26. It said that, so Bud Dupree was offside, but then Trent Williams grabbed him by the face mask because he was obviously way past him and pulled him to the ground. And for some reason, they called the face mask, I guess, because it's a personal foul, and the offside got neglected, I believe. That's a pretty crazy.
That is a little bit weird turn of events. Third and 26. They actually need to make this to get into range here. What? I don't like this play call. And I can't look at this guy, man. Are you serious? Like, he might have just got them 3 points, man. Debo balls, dude. Holy. Oh, my.
On the flip side, though, like, if you're a defense playing against San Fran, like, you're doing everything you can to punch that ball out with how much he fights for extra yardage.
Yeah. You need, like, I don't know. That needs to be coached up more. Like, the only team we see do that often is the Colts. You know, because it's not just
it's because of Leonard, right?
It's not just Leonard, though. Like, the whole team, like, you saw it in the New England game, like, they're holding guys up to punch it out. I always suggested that. They're actually doing it.
Well, like, you also have to think that if a team, like a player like Leonard has so much success doing that, like, your teammates are going to start doing it too. It's just interesting that, like, I don't want to say the league hasn't caught on because everybody knows what to do, but some just do it better than others. Mickey said they coach it. I wonder if that's part of the Hard Knocks.
Yeah, for sure they do, because that's the only team I've ever seen it like blatantly obvious. And against the Patriots, it was every single like time that there was a skill position player, and they were like grouped together, they would stand him up. Like I felt like a guy standing him up, and the other two guys are like vigorously trying to punch the ball out. It's awesome. You know what you could do instead of punching down? You know, it might be an idea. Punching the ball straight on, and if you punch the guy's arm, so be it. Like, how is that a foul? I guess it depends on how the refs would call something like that.
Well, they talked, you're not allowed to punch a player like we never see that called, but if you just punch a guy, it's some sort of personal foul or something like that. So it's a little bit of a risk.
It is a risk. It's difficult to, like, if you legit punch a ball and the guy's wrist is in the way, right? And you still catch the ball. I'm not sure, like, I don't know. I think it would just be a weird thing. Like, you're going to get away with it for some time. You know what I mean? At least before eventually something will break before, and refs will start paying attention to it. But I don't think that's a common thing. Because punching down seems a little bit difficult too. And you do end up punching the guy anyways in the chest to a point. I love it. I like the Colts. I really hope I want the Colts to win the Super Bowl. That would make my NFL season if they do. I think they're interesting. I think insanely well coached. I think the decision making is crisp. And I like teams that do it with a subpar quarterback. Like there's something that's like endearing to me about it. Even when I'm like as a teenager, when I build my Madden teams, I'd always do the quarterback last because I'm like I can just play. I could just make it through this season with a 65 quarterback.
Mickey, I'm glad you brought that up because the special teams guy was losing his mind, like celebrating when they did get that block. So it like to see it all pieced together behind the scenes and then what happens in game and it works and the guy like celebrates, like good for him, man. That's such a huge advantage to give that team. And like that's the kind of stuff that like gets you promoted and gets you talking about being a head coach in some future aspect. Oh man,
I'm way behind
Colts
you.
Niners Super Bowl would be fun. It
That
would
would
be
be
fun. I'm
great. I would
on.
be into that big time. Because that would be like philosophies I actually like, and it'd be interesting
I'd
for
give
me.
the advantage to the Colts though.
Yeah. I think Colts are
If
better.
the
I think Colts
I'm
are
on
better on
CTV two,
defense.
fat guy.
What's that?
I said I'm on CTV two.
Are you? I think I am too. Weird how you're getting it for me. That's strange. Like the Browns to win, but like this has been a tough year. I don't. I'm still very pleased with how things have gone. That was a chop block by Tennessee. Wow.
Oh man,
Dude, an offensive lineman with a 52 number, 54. That's so awesome.
really good run from Foreman here.
How am I so? I'm like 10 seconds behind you. This is crazy. I have the exact same feed. Are you using Blue Curve?
Yeah, I think it's because my feed will disappear, like it disconnects, and I think it just connects to like the most recent, which I don't even know how to like manually do that.
Yeah, I don't know how I would do that either.
It's my bride's family that I'm visiting, Mickey. Usually, my brother and sister-in-law live in Alberta, so usually they'd come visit us, but certain circumstances doesn't allow for it this year, so we figured we come here and take some time and enjoy it with the family. But there was a huge snow flurry today. It was pretty crazy. I've never actually been part of like a snow fin. It was interesting. My first real like winter Alberta winter. I've been to Edmonton in the past, but just for a couple days during Christmas time. Nothing like this. Big third down conversion. Nice to see for Tennessee. These guys really need to sustain some drives. Like it's just so dangerous if they can't pick up first downs.
Wow. I just saw the catch now. I'm going to try and retool here. This is too crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not too far. We got to fly over the Rockies. It's so beautiful. That the drive from Vancouver to Calgary is a very, very beautiful drive. And like Banff and Canmore, two beautiful cities. I would love living in Banff just because of how beautiful it is.
Well, our generation is going to start doing that a bit more. I think. I'm
Like
open I'm
moving
open
out
to
to
moving
Banff and stuff.
anywhere.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
like
open to moving to the
the only
United States
thing,
or Europe too.
yeah, the thing that's tough about here is just the weather for us. Like it's a pretty big thing to get used to. Um, The thing with like Banff is very expensive because it's like a tourist place.
Well, compared to where we live, come on.
Yeah, it's even compared to where we live
Was the average
because
house
there's
over a
not a lot
million?
of, oh, way more because the the demand is so small, right? Because it's
The
mostly
supply
like
is
national
small. You mean the
parks and
demand
stuff
is
like
high and the
that.
supply is small?
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
I didn't know there the average house over $1 million there. I didn't know that. Like even on
Like
the
maybe not the
outskirts.
average, but it's that's the thing, right? There's not really outskirts. That's why it's so expensive. Really nice play. Is that Mosley who broke that up? Oh
What is
yeah, Banff is Banff's probably my favorite city to visit as far as like natural beauty. Jimmy Ward made that play. It
he might
almost
have
looked
he
like he
could have
was a little
ran this.
early.
He could have ran this through that. It's not natural to think that way, but and you have so limited time to make those reads. But it was there. That one hurts.
Yeah, Banff is incredible. Lake Louise, Lake Moran. It's like cool to see, at least once in your life. Take a look at what the OU is for this game. 9.5. The OU's at 37.5. San Fran minus 614. Oh yeah, the Rockies
614.
are pretty incredible to drive through. Have you ever done the drive to like well yeah, you were did you drive out there or fly out there this summer?
Edmonton, I flew. I've driven to Banff because my older sister lived there. So
Yeah.
yeah, that she lived in like one of those weird houses that were like slightly like on the outskirts. If there were, like I'd mentioned, there just aren't that many of them, like you mentioned. So that's why I was curious if though how much those types
Yeah.
of houses were. So yeah, I think I've done it. I think we've done it twice, but that was as a family. As an adult, I haven't done it. And I flew to Edmonton, and I didn't. I didn't really get to see much. It was a funeral, right? So there was just there's a couple funny stories, but I don't think they're stream appropriate. So about
Yeah.
some of our accommodations and things like that. Uh,
Zap's asking, how can a free play penalty on the defense result in a 15-yard penalty on the offense? Seems broken. I think
yeah,
that's something like there's so many different scenarios that I could see the competition committee going and changing something like that. Because
yeah,
like,
but then hold on. He's right, but at the same time, do you get carte blanche? If so, think about it. If you say you can't get that penalty, does that mean that he can just rip the guy's helmet off then because it's a free play? So there has to be some fine line there. Like,
well, the only what it would lead to is that an offside would just be blown down automatically, which would take away the excitement of like the guy jumping or not jumping. But it's there's so many like weird circumstances in football that can happen. It's hard to think of like every circumstance and create a penalty for each one. Yeah, Mickey said there's only two of us in here. Bring it back, guy.
just trying to think. Like, maybe it should be a net of 10 though. Do you know what I mean? Instead of 15. How did he not? How is that not an interception? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, that decision was horrible too, not just the throw. That was bad. That was really bad.
I like Jeff Wilson. I just don't like him running east west.
Yeah, there has
Yeah,
been two.
definitely.
Two, like, this is. That one was. Should be a never happen, though. Like, the other one's like, okay, it's bad, but whatever. That last one was like. I don't know. There's no argument you could give me, or like. I wouldn't be able to forgive that one. You know, it's just easy to say that because it didn't get caught.
I'm I don't know if you've caught up, fat guy. I'm almost surprised wasn't a ref in the passer, but nice sack here. Is that Bud Dupree or
They
I don't
showed
think
him,
it's
but I don't
Dupree.
think it is. Because
And
Dupree has the red.
he beat Kittle.
Was it Dupree? It's
Mm,
96. I
I
don't think
don't
that's
think
him.
so. Oh man, that was a fumble too, unless they decided to blow it down, but
That was a fumble. Wow. It's getting challenged, I think.
all the refs ran in saying he was down. So I think it's one of those ones where
What do you mean a
they blew him
timeout?
down. I guess they were giving him forward progress. Looks like Kittle got the recovery.
He did anyways, that's true. Why did Tennessee use a timeout there? To see if they could challenge? That was dumb.
I don't know.
Ow. Ouch.
Oh, he completely botched this punt.
Oh no. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Every single time we get that angle from behind the punter, I feel like they shank every single kick and then it
Yeah.
ends up like 60 yards down the field.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying, and I agree.
It looks so deceiving. I don't know if it's like the angle that they shoot it at or what, but that was an actual shank because you could tell him how he reacted. It's like he lost his balance.
You know what that reminds me of? Remember that time we were playing Bosa Foods in soccer? And it was we were playing, they had 11 guys and we had 9. Do you remember that game?
Is that the game that we won?
Yeah, that was a game. Okay, you guys are like this. We're playing soccer and it was 11 versus 9. And our team was notorious for not having enough guys. So I would play forward as the only guy, and I could shoot from pretty far away, and I could hold the ball up and waste time. So I think I scored, and we were up 1-0. And Big Rye had the ball in this spot where a guy, um, he dispossessed a guy, and the ball was loose, and there was this tiny fence and a really big fence with prickle bushes all behind it. And Big Rye kicked it out, like lifted the ball. So it was so deliberate. It wasn't him just booting it. And it went over the big fence and into the prickle bushes. So it wasted like 5 minutes because we were so exhausted. Anyways, they tied it up. And me and another guy, I told the other guy we're playing with to kick it in the corner because we're so tired. There's no way we could do anything about it. So anyways, we kick it in the corner and me and the other guy run down and we knock it out of bounds and they take the goal kick and the goalie slipped when he was kicking it out and it hit the other guy in the chest and he pretty much scored an open net and we won 2-1 with 9 guys versus 11. That was one of my favorite games ever played because it was just like such bad beer league soccer. We were so out of shape, and that when you lifted that over the fence, that was one of my favorite plays ever. And they're complaining to the referee, like, what's the ref supposed to say? You can't kick it out of bounds? It was so genius.
I was definitely like an underrated agitator, and that was one of my like I've never agitated so many people at once.
That was,
and the ref like nothing. Like the ref was like, "What do you want me to do?" Like
he thought it was clever. He took it well, you know. Some dumb refs would give you a yellow card. That was the funniest one I loved it so much. And it did. It probably saved a goal. Like because we were so sick, like so
I
tired. I
think you
mean,
were at the game that we won where we only had 7 players. That was insane.
I thought we tied.
No, no, you weren't even there. I don't even
I
think you
wasn't
were
there. No,
playing at
that was the
the
one with
time that
Jamie.
year.
I wasn't there. I heard
No,
about that game.
that's the one where Bloodbath had a breakaway and missed, and it was still 0-0, and like there's only 7 of us, but the other 6 of us like wanted to kill the guy.
Yeah.
Zav saying trash play calls. Pass here that was incomplete. Now we got to run up the middle. They're bringing it to the 2-minute warning. Fire everyone. It's like it's an interesting coaching staff, right? Because they've had a lot of success, but like it feels like they need a lot of things to go right for them to be able to like compete. Oh, here's a good one, Fact. How many red cards in your career?
I'm gonna say 35, maybe.
You've had 35 red cards.
Probably, yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead, think about it. I stopped playing at 27. I didn't get one. Okay, so I didn't get a red card until I was 15, and then I had at least 2 a year from 15 to 27.
So that puts you at 24.
24. So I'm gonna say 30. I'm gonna amend it to say 30 because I had that one year I got. Oh no, I'm gonna say 26. 26 or 27. That one year I had 3. Remember the guy kicked me in the nuts and I punched him in the face on at Newton Athletic Park, the back grass fields.
I don't remember, but that sounds.
We were playing the pylons, and I kicked it through his legs, and then he kicked me from behind through, like in between the legs, and kicked me in the nuts, and I turned and decked him, and then I had to go to the committee for that one, and then I got 1 for insubordination, and then I got a bunch for dangerous hits and stuff like that. Well, beer league though, you had to. Someone on everybody's team had to get a red card. There's no. It's like not. Like if you played like a dirty team, like the firemen, you had to have a guy. So.
Well, I felt like they were also more like liberal giving out red cards for when you get older because they're just like they try to cut stuff off before it gets too serious.
Yeah.
I think I've only had 2, maybe 3. So
you have 3 red cards. You have
probably
yellows
collectively.
You have yellows out the wazoo. So do I though. But most of my red cards weren't straight reds. They were 2 yellows.
How's it going, Jamie? Merry Christmas.
Hey Jamie, how are you?
I remember having a game where we won 1-0. I had a goal, I had 2 yellow cards and a red card. So I was the only person in the book 4 times.
Gordie Howe hat trick, eh?
It's like I'll drive. It's not far from where I live now, where we played that game too. So every time I drive by, I tell my wife, like, "Hey, that's where I got a goal, 2 yellow cards, a red card.
Yeah,
we won 1-0. Like,
it's
I remember
perfect.
one of the things that pissed me off on the flip side is one time I got a yellow, and the ref, infamously, a lot of what's going on, Robert? How you doing?
Hello
from France.
Bonjour.
One of my favorite ones, and like I was so pissed at the time, but like now it's funny to talk about. Oh, really nice completion here,
wow.
David Brown.
Yeah.
But I picked up a yellow, and you know how like a lot of the refs like they'd stand in the center circle, so you'd have to like for a yellow card for some reason in soccer, like you have to come up and like talk to the ref when you get a yellow card.
Yeah,
for some reason.
yeah.
I don't know. So the guy made me walk up all the way to like center, even though it was like just outside of our 18-yard box. And I ran up, he talked to me, gave me the yellow, and then he blowed the whistle to start the play. And like my guy that I would have been marking man to man, it looks like he's in.
I think he's in. Is that Foreman touchdown?
Oh, there's a flag on the play.
Is it against Tennessee?
What's this flag on? Judging by his body language, he's not too Man, he tried to pull out a braid.
Yeah, that guy did.
Is it going to be offsetting? It looks like they just keep pointing every which way. But to finish my story, the ref blew the whistle before I got back, and I didn't get to get back in the play, and my guy ended up setting up the goal. I was so pissed. Like, at
Oh yeah, so he
least
like it's so hokey. Yeah, so you got like almost a double whammy there.
yeah, to pick up a yellow, and then the guy I'm checking, like the guy would have never been able to do
Yeah, yeah,
what
yeah,
he
yeah,
did
yeah.
if
What
I
he
was
did
in
if you weren't
position.
there.
Yeah, but it's it is what it is. That stuff happens. It's sports.
Yeah, I always got one for like following through on a like when someone like kicked the ball away and I just keep running and just hit the guy like. But those are always
Yeah,
against someone who was also dirty. Like I never went out and hurt like a small innocent guy. It was always targeted for someone who was, I just knew it was bad. Like
yeah.
incompetent refs ruin games. Yeah, I mean I don't know how much like. Oh man, what a play! Oh, it was so close. Who's Thomas?
I'm not too sure. I'll pull them up and it's only his
Isn't this
third start, so
PI
the commentator.
technically? Isn't that
It's
PI?
Ambry Thomas, a third round pick, a guy
He
that
didn't look.
Zaps mentioned earlier.
He didn't turn his head to the ball and he hit the player. That's actually PI.
I was expecting it too,
I wasn't. I thought it
so
was
was
just
the
a good
lineman.
play. I thought he just knocked the ball out, like once it hit the receiver's hands. But it was way more than that. The Titans are actually getting hosed here. Oh man. Yeah, he never Zaps. I thought he like the ball hit the receiver's hands and then he just swatted away, which is fine. But he did drape him and he hit the receiver in the head during the catch with his forearm. Like that's me. I hate PI calls, but that was pass interference. Oh, that's the greatest name, Mickey. I love that. Richard. What's that 80s
What
band?
was it?
Talk Talk
Richard.
or Richard Richard? That would be sweet.
That would be pretty funny. I'm
What a
actually I'm curious if like San Fran should take a timeout now.
Should definitely take a timeout. What are they doing? They have three. You're not taking time. What's going on here?
And honestly, Tennessee should go for this.
I don't
They
know.
should. I think they should. Like if they punt it out of the end zone, it's a 20-yard gain. The problem is it's 4th and 20. I didn't realize they're 20 yards out. I thought they picked up some yardage on one of these plays.
Yeah, you can't go.
Rashard Richard would be the most ironic if that was his name.
Maurice Richard's brother has the most Stanley Cup rings, right? It's like 14.
I have no clue. To me, it's Bill Russell or bust when it comes to championships. Like to me, like Brady's the closest you're going to get to Russell, but like you win 11 championships in 13 years and there's only 5 players on the court. Like that's how much better does it get than that?
It's Henri Richard. Yeah, you are right about that. He won 10 and 11 too. He went to the final like was it 11 years in a row?
It's yeah, you win 11 in 13 years. It's going to be a bunch in a row. Anglo first name, French last name. So is Richard Richard.
Yeah.
That's so great.
Henri Richard won 11 Stanley Cups as a player, and then I think he has some from the as an executive. I don't know where that is. So it's him and Bill Russell have the most, but he wasn't a star player like Bill Russell, I would imagine.
I think it's like Like I don't think like executive championships should
No, I
count.
don't think so either. Yeah.
But like not to say it's not like you're part of that, but I feel like it's a lot different.
Trying to think who the most decorated soccer player is. It's technically Zidane. Like when you think of like
It's hard,
actually
right?
winning
Because like
stuff.
what do you count as, like where does it,
Well, he
like
has
World Cup, Euro Cup,
World Cup, Euro
and
Cup, Champions League, Ballon d'Or, and then he also too he has three coaching, three Champions Leagues coaching. I don't know. He's kind of the winningest guy in my opinion. I think
it's
he's. I
definitely
always say this
excellence.
argument though, as weird as he is, and he's not even the greatest athlete. Probably the best player to ever play a sport, Zidane. Like you can say Messi and Ronaldo were better, but I don't know. As far as like being good at a sport, like that guy was like blindingly good. He was so smart, And they like France wasn't even gonna make the World Cup. Then he had a dream, and he told his brother that he had a dream that he was gonna take France to the World Cup. He was retired. He was like 36, and then they did. Pele only won two, I think. Mickey. It might have been three. It was 58, 62, and 70, I think. Because 66 was England. Ooh, what's going on down there? Where's that flag raining in?
Samuel was trying to get up, but the defense was preventing him from getting up, even though Samuel seemed like he was kind of selling it. So it's a 5 yard penalty, and I'm
Automatic first down?
guessing stop.
Hey, I
I'm
was
guessing
right.
they stopped the clock too.
I got it right, Mickey. I just looked. 58, 62, and 70. All right. There we go.
One of the cooler things that happened to my mom growing up is that um, somehow my grandfather met and befriended Pele enough that Pele came back to their house, had dinner, and played soccer with my mom and my aunt in the backyard,
That's the
which I still
craziest
think
story, eh?
it's something that like you hear it and you don't believe, but they
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah,
pictures of
yeah.
it, which
Yeah,
is
they
like,
do. Yeah,
okay, this
exactly.
is, or it was just a guy who really looked like Pele and really
Yeah,
pulled a
yeah.
fast one on him. That would be even funnier.
How many Champions Leagues for Ronaldo and Messi? I think four for Messi. I think it's four.
It's tough because like how many like Messi has played on incredible teams too. Like it's kind of unfair. Like some
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah, 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 yeah.
like Messi's obviously the marquee player on that team. They might have had like six of the top 10 players at one time, which is, but I guess you could say the same thing about probably Bill Russell, right? Like I'm sure, you know, every guy has had a lot of help if they've won that many championships.
Barcelona, he's got three, and Cristiano Ronaldo's got four. And I think Zidane only as a player only has two. I think
Is Champions League every 4 years?
no, it's every year.
It's every year. Okay.
Yeah, it's the hardest tournament to win in sports, probably. You have to be the best in your league, and then go through a round robin process, and then Messi with PSG now. Yeah, I haven't watched in a year though, so like that. I'm not an authority figure whatsoever.
I didn't know that he was on PSG. I know they kept saying that he was going to leave, but I didn't realize.
he has like his
That was
dad handled his
that happened.
finances, and there's like some disasters regarding that. So he's not like somehow Cristiano Ronaldo's far more well off, oddly enough.
I'll look at the second half lines. San Fran -9. OU's 32.5. It is halftime. I do have a family dinner waiting for me, so I'm just gonna grab the food and be right back.
Now Messi does have 4 Champions Leagues. I didn't know that. Holy. Trying to see if Zidane has 3 or 2 Champions Leagues here. One. He only has 1. Wow, I thought he was on that team and he wasn't. Wow, I thought he was on because Barca won 3 in that time, and I thought he was on one of them, but he wasn't. Weird. It's another coach. Yep, Heynckes. Soccer history is a little interesting. I like Bayern Munich and those clubs. Like they're not just billionaire playgrounds. Like those are actually like functioning businesses, and like they get results. I really like that kind of stuff. I don't like this crew here with David Carr in the middle. Chris Rose. I don't have audio on, but like I don't know. Some about the look of him is just bothering me. 55 yards. Holy, that's so low. I'm getting a little disenchanted though with like I kind of like football all in one day. Like I almost wish there were just two Monday night games if that makes any sense. Like I didn't think I'd ever be like getting too busy, but I feel like I am because I've added a lot of stuff to my plate and like the things I want to do. Like I always feel like I'm trying to make up for lost time, especially with a kid on the way. Like I'm trying to streamline every source of income I possibly can. Sign up for a crypto DeFi website, and they, if you're not American, you need your passport and a bank statement. That's a lot of information to hand over. I did it. What are they going to steal from me, right? But I don't know. It's a little bit crazy. I always enjoy, and the Burger King commercial just came up. I always like when they have them and you can tell like you know what I mean? It's like some sort of a plastic or something like that, or like cereal is just like glue or something like that because it looks easier for the commercial, or it looks better in the commercial because the cereal suspends better, or like the burger's fake. I always find that interesting too. That's how you fill dead air, I guess. Wonder what Big Art Rise having for dinner. I had like I ate out the restaurant of burgers at Five Guys, so
I still find it funny that Brady was the MVP favorite odds wise when he threw up 0 points um, against the Saints.
well, he's not anymore.
Well, he still was like the day after when they posted the odds. And like, I just don't get like, if you're the most valuable player and you lose a couple guys and then like all of a sudden you can't score, like to me, that's not the most valuable player, right?
Yeah, that's true. But there's also like the argument like are we just gonna go off like this one failure? Like I don't know. It's so tied to results that like I find it almost invalidating because like it's not like football isn't a it's such a low volume sport. So like anything can happen. Like Matt Nagy was coach of the year once. You know what I mean? Is that like
Yeah.
that's like just absurd realistically? Like I can't like football's the only game where it's like you can get lucky and like even being bad, you can get lucky and win. Like I guess that's true with anything, but I just feel like it's more so, you know.
Like, how good would Tampa Bay be if Rodgers was the quarterback? Like, wouldn't they be a better team?
Yeah, of course they'd be a better team. But MVP doesn't mean who's the best player in the league. Like Rodgers and
That's
Mahomes would
very
win every
true.
year,
Yeah.
and like Josh Allen probably should have won last year. Who won MVP last year? I can't even remember.
I
Was it
want to say
Mahomes?
Rodgers, but
It was Rodgers.
actually,
It was Rodgers.
it might have been Mahomes.
No, it was Rodgers. Who has the most
It's weird
MVPs in
because
season history? I think it's Manning.
I'm not too sure.
I think Manning has 4, and that's the most.
I have no reason to say this, but I feel like Dan Marino would have a lot of MVP seasons.
For his sake, I'm
But
sure he wishes that there was more money
a
attached to
Super
something
Bowl
like that.
MVP.
Yeah, or
Oh,
that
there you
too.
go.
He invested in that hologram technology or whatever.
So he did the Tupac concert some 15 years ago.
Yes, I'm not even joking. Yes. NFL. I want to see. Jim Brown won the first 2, and then he won in 1965.
So Jim Brown had 3.
He had 3 out of 9 seasons. And then realistically, like
That was crazy.
Brian Sipe won for the Cleveland Browns in 1980. It feels like it was more. Mark Mosley, a kicker, won in 1982. Holy smokes. Joe Montana in 89-80. Joe Theismann 83. Dan Marino 84.
So he only has 1.
Yes. Steve Young is 2, 92, 94. Brett Favre won 3 in a row, 95, 96, 97. And he tied with Barry Sanders in 97.
That's pretty impressive.
Kurt Warner, 99, 2001.
He won 3 years in a row too?
No, he won 2 out of 3 years.
Okay.
Kurt Warner did. Manning won it twice in a row. He had to share it with McNair in 03. Manning won twice in a row twice. Manning has 5. Brady only has 3. Rodgers has 3. So it's Manning.
Manning was like pretty incredible in regular season. So
Manning's clear ahead. He's got 5. Jim Brown, Johnny Unitas, Brett Favre, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers have 3 each. Joe Montana, Steve Young, Kurt Warner have 2, and no one else has 2. That's hard. This has got some disparity to it. I like it. Mahomes only has 1. Very interesting. He won't be getting it this year. Man, Rodgers could get a 4th one here, like pretty easy.
Mahomes could still get it, but they'd need a very strong finish to the season.
They have to like destroy the next. Like they have to use like college type. Do you know what I mean? Grading. Like he has to like destroy because they go on a lot of dumb stats. Like
I don't think there's that much of a gap between anybody.
I think I know
Rodgers and Brady
favorite.
I agree, but like if he struggles to the finish and Mahomes has 4 touchdown games for the next 3 weeks in a row, like, and I agree with Zaps. I think Taylor's been the most consistent player And I might be saying that because Taylor struggled at the start of the year, but he's played so well from like week 4 on or week 5 on, whatever it is.
It's gaining clout. I'm gonna throw water on it for one reason. I just realized if you're gonna give a skill position player an MVP, it should be Cooper Cup. I'm not even joking. Like he has like 1,680 yards, and I don't even know how many touchdowns. He might break. There's a chance because this extra game, he could break like every record. So I do think those guys should be second and third though, after Rodgers, in my opinion. Oh, man,
Yeah.
Julio just. Oh, that was AJ Brown.
And if Derrick Henry doesn't get hurt, he's probably the lead favorite for MVP.
Yeah, but like, if he played mediocre between the games, between when he was hurt till now, Jonathan Taylor would have surpassed him, I would imagine.
Maybe. Like Henry had such a lead in yards. It was pretty crazy.
It was. He was. Isn't he still in like third or sec? He's in third or something. He's been played in like 5 weeks.
Yeah, I think he's third.
Who's Chubb's second or no? Yeah, maybe. And Chubb's missed 3-4 games too.
First.
Taylor's first. And then I think it's Chubb.
I don't even think it's I think it's probably Mixon or Eckler that's second.
It might be Mixon, yeah. This is just a nightmare. Tennessee's a nightmare right now. Protection was good there. Nice pitch and catch. Nice pitch and catch.
Man, I hate zone when guys just stand there. Like you're 20 yards off the ball and you're staring at the quarterback when there's a guy within 5 yards of you.
Yeah. It's so
it
true.
Makes no sense from a coverage standpoint.
Henry's in 5th, but he's only in 5th by like 100 and something yards from it's.
And that would have been because like a few of those guys would have passed him with the last week.
Yeah. It's Taylor, Mixon, Cook, Chubb, and then him. That's nuts.
And Cook and Chubb had big games last week, so.
This looks like a really lazy route by AJ Brown.
There's no way that guy's anywhere close to 100%.
Seven of 10 first down plays gained 0 or negative yards. It's pretty bad. Who's Jerry McNichols? There you go.
Corner blitz there. From so far away, too.
Man, that was nice from Brown, dude.
The after the catch stuff?
Yeah. He just threw off like one or two guys. So agility is such an interesting thing. Like, I wouldn't call AJ Brown agile, and I wouldn't call like DK Metcalf agile. You know what I mean? Like he runs kind of on like a track, right? Holy. Blazing game just got upended by Jaquiski Tart. That's one of the more fun names.
They're kind of like that one cut running back style. Like like where you're agile at a certain speed that guys their height and size and weight shouldn't be able to do.
Why is Brown out and sitting on second down? Is he hurt?
I think they're just, I know they said they're not going to limit his stuff, but like if they're running the ball, they're just going to bring him off the field.
Well, that would be such a tell if that's like we'd have to see the math on that, obviously. Dude, they like I feel like every third down is third and long for this in this game for the Titans. And they get it again to AJ Brown, who's just playing like pretty well so far. Or man, dude, that ball came out really slow.
That that play just all around from all sides was bizarre. They just highlighted that the Titans haven't even averaged 1 yard a play on first down this game.
Okay, they're an I here. Jesus.
So their first down, they didn't have any of their receivers in. Second down, same thing here.
Is this going to be a screen? I knew it was something like that. These are pretty ugly play calls. I'm inclined to agree with Zaps. These are pretty bad, like and like obvious. You took out, oh man, Nick Bosa. That could have gone so poorly. Look how jacked that guy is. And now the receivers have to come in on third down. This team might as well have chucked it, to be real. Holy smokes. Ben Jones looks just out of sorts on the ground there. They put points on the board. This game should be a blowout, though, I think, considering how this offense has performed.
Tennessee
Randy
got
Bullock.
jagged though. Like they should have had a touchdown or at least a PI call.
Yeah.
On those back-to-back plays, and all of a sudden this would be a tie game if
more than
like
likely,
obviously
yeah.
we could do the same thing on the other side. Like if this happened for San Fran, like like Garoppolo doesn't throw an interception, but this game's like it's one of those things where a team looks so dominant for a quarter and a half or 2 quarters or 3 quarters, and it just if you can't make the score, like if you can't build up the lead when you are playing well, it's not good.
They're really selling Peloton hard here. It just seems like such a
I think
like.
it's just such a easy business model.
But like, how they're charging $5,000 with a subscription for a treadmill?
Yeah, I don't agree with it, but people that have money that are staying at home, that's what they're gonna get. Because there's not really like that much high quality stuff that's like trendy. You know what I mean? Like they've actually kind of fit like this perfect demographic where you're dealing with the people that are going to pay you lots of money. And what's interesting though is when does Peloton reach the point where they don't want to advertise because it hurts their brand? You know, similar to some like luxury car companies don't advertise because they feel like advertising would actually hurt their brand and they'd have to charge less.
Who do you think does that?
Um, there, I'd have to look it up. I forget which company it actually is. There's one or two or three companies that don't.
Well,
I think
Tesla
it will
does it.
name off luxury cars. It's not Tesla though. Like Tesla's a different beast in
Maserati
itself.
doesn't, I guess.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Ferrari commercial before or a Lambo commercial.
Yeah. It seems like the Titans have made a concerted effort to take Samuel out of the game as far as like receiving goes. Like it feels like they're giving him extra attention, and here's where it pays off. That Paul just came out of Garoppolo's hands poorly, but nice, nice play here for the Titans to start
Former, yeah,
off the
former
first possession
Colt.
for San Fran.
Wonder what he said there. Who's that running back? Is that McNichols?
Yeah.
Man, they gave him a terrible spot.
Nice run from Nick Nichols, who's looked good on these last two carries.
I wonder if they finish it off with Foreman here, though. Well, they actually, you're right, though. They had the receivers out on these two runs. And it's, obviously you could do the correlation, causation type thing. I like how Thomas is taking credit for that play.
He did a pretty good job in coverage.
Oh, he did. He did pass deflect it. I didn't think he did. Did he turn his head again, though? Like, is that turning? Like, he didn't. I don't know. I hate the PI rules. They're not very clear.
And that's a Dante Foreman touchdown.
Nice. How are they tied in this game? This is crazy. It looks like I am going to eat my words.
Well, turnovers are everything in the NFL. And
Yeah.
what's that, 2 turnovers now for San Fran? It really evens out the game pretty fast, no matter how good you're playing.
Look at that hole, man. That was cake.
Zab said hard to believe that was a throw from a
Yeah.
professional quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh, for Garoppolo, yeah.
I started Dante Foreman in the big ride and the fat guy.
Nice.
I mean, I guess. Just I didn't have faith in Harris considering the situation.
Well, it's hard to go off uncertainty when you need a win.
Like I got pretty lucky there that he even got a touchdown. Like like a bunch of things had to happen.
It's all part of it. I was worried because my opponent had Jeff Wilson and they benched Jeff Wilson.
Why'd they bench Jeff Wilson?
I guess to start Antonio Brown.
Oh, they did. Oh, I thought you meant like the Niners. I was like, what?
No. I'm talking about a fantasy
Yeah.
football lineup.
There's a good chance it's gonna be me versus you in the final, eh?
Oh, we'll see.
We will see.
Live line is San Fran -3, OU's at 37. Money line -178, which is pretty crazy considering it was -614 like not too long ago.
Oh man, why did the sound go on? Bizarre. Oh man, use check was so open. I didn't realize that angle.
Yeah, use check was very open on that play.
Samuel made tackle on the interception too. Yeah, I was gonna say that has to be. Wow, what a tackle! 38, Buster screen. That's a tough one for him. A little bit of life on defense here.
Yeah, it's just they've got the crowd into the game now. It's if they can get a stop here, it's going to be pretty big. And then San Fran will have a decision to make what they want to do.
This is a false start.
Yeah,
Jeffrey
Kittle.
Simmons is such a mean player. I like him. He might be the most valuable player on that whole team aside from Tannehill.
And Henry.
No,
But like from a win perspective, I know what you mean.
Jeffrey Simmons is worth more than Derrick Henry in terms of winning a
I just think
game.
it's funny that we're talking about Henry could have won MVP, but he's not even the most valuable player on his own team.
Well, it's because of the position, right? It's nothing to do with him as a running back.
Yeah.
There's just so much math going against you. What number is Samuel? 19?
Yeah.
Who is Jennings?
I have to double check because it's obviously not Greg Jennings. Like Greg Jennings is way out of the league.
Yeah, I mean, unless something changed.
It's Jawan Jennings. He's a 7th round pick from last season.
No second half bets, thank God. Yeah, I would have taken it on the nose. Here, Mickey. Man. I gotta be impressed. I always think like, man, this running back's dead to rights. You know what I mean? And I swear, like 9 times out of 10, they somehow dance from 2.5 yard loss to 1 yard gain.
It's just hard to bring most running backs down. Like,
Look at the huffing here. Holy. Yeah, that would have been the time, Mickey, probably. Because San Fran really can't look any worse.
well, it's probably at that third. It was probably that 3rd and long just before that, if I had to guess.
Dude, this defense has had some pretty like mean hits here. That's a good safety crew. Byard and Hooker. Like Hooker's okay, but Byard's very good, obviously. He made another I think he's all pro again. Excuse me, fat guy has to use the restroom.
There's actually a story about I think it was from Mike Tomlin talking about Kevin Byard, and he said he should have never passed on for the second half. Yeah, that makes more sense, Mickey. But he was talking about Kevin Byard, and he says no guys put up double-digit interceptions in college, and he should have known better. And it's been pretty interesting because it's translated to the NFL. The guy's been just a hawk for interceptions. So 3rd and 5 here for San Fran. Got Samuel in the backfield with Wilson lined up kind of like a tight end. This is going to be a short, like 4th and short play, and I got a feeling they're going to go for it. I don't know exactly where they are on the field, but holy crap, does Samuel run hard. His shoe fell off, so he's going to have to come out. I wouldn't be even surprised if San Fran just takes the timeout so he can get his no, his shoe's back on apparently. So it looks like they jumped. I got a feeling we're going to see a punt now from San Fran. It's on Trent Williams. So Kittle and Trent Williams have both taken false starts. Tennessee's crowd doing their thing here. Oh, they're still going for it here on 4th and 6. And it's dropped by Ayuk. I don't know, Mickey. Like he's just playing aggressive, I guess, and Shanahan drives you crazy. Yeah, it's a bad result. So it's kind of like I'd still have to go back and see where they were on the field, but they're just on like that fringe spot where it's too long for a field goal, too short for a punt. But obviously, you'd rather have 4th and 1 than 4th and 6. Yeah, well, everyone always goes back to the that Super Bowl where they were up 28-3 and he kept throwing the ball even though they were up. I'm actually going to pull up the 4th down bot to see what they said was the what was the play to make there. So even from 4th and 6, the play was to go for it. 61 win percentage to go for it. 59 field goal attempt, 58 for punts. So
What did I miss?
so technically it was the right play to make. San Fran ended up with a 4th and 1 on the 35, but Trent Williams jumped, like took a false start penalty. So it was 4th and 6 from the 40, and they decided to go for it. And it was incomplete.
I don't
But
know.
Mickey was saying like, why is he going for it? Because he feels like the Titans aren't going to go 90 yards, but they can go 60. But technically, it was according to the 4th down bot Baldwin, it was the right decision to make. Just didn't work out the result. Yeah, Mickey feels like because the Titans and how they've been offensively, it's just not a reason to go be as aggressive as they have been.
I don't know if I agree with that. I'll probably just side with the bot. 40 yards is kind of no man's land. I do like. I don't think this is as clear cut though as like. I think there's more argument for this one. They're bringing Cam Akers back from IR. I wonder if it's like when.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's actually like it doesn't mean much spread wise, but it's a nice boost for that team as far as their flexibility on offense goes.
I picked him up in
Oh
fantasy.
man, that was Bosa almost had a kill shot on Tannehill. I'm guessing he got held.
Did they call it? They must have called it.
They called a holding. I want to see a replay because like Bosa looked like he was coming full speed, so I didn't even see the hold, but uh I don't even know how he managed to get enough strength to pull him back.
That was pretty good.
Oh, that's pretty funny, Mickey. Making the rounds.
Which French guy?
The guy that was in our chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's funny.
trying to find. Robert Renaud.
Robert Renault. There you go.
It says 4th and 23. That can't be right. 3rd and 23. Okay. It looked like they got San Fran to jump. Tannehill gets to take his shot, and AJ Brown with a huge catch. The best luck for San Fran is if there's offsetting penalties, which I doubt there is.
I like how he like. I like how he caught and held that ball. That was pretty sweet. Vrabel looks like he's getting away with something, like because he gets so lucky.
Well, that was just super smart by Tannehill. Like that's one of the rare times this year I can remember a quarterback taking advantage of one of those flags. That was awesome. He said, "I'm going to lose this bet." Yeah, it's definitely possible. Let's see what the live line is now. Tennessee -2.5 is the current live line. -144 on money line. 36.5 on the OU. Mickey said that Jimmy G has that deer in the headlights look. Yeah. Well, it's like you guys said kind of at the start, like he has feels like he has 3 or 4 bad plays in each game. It just so happened that those plays have come back to bite him so far in this game. That is true. Rabel is he is good at dirtying up games. It just feels like how much of this game feels like Tennessee making like good adjustments, and or is it just San Fran didn't take advantage of their opportunities? How do you feel, fat guy, about what's
I
going
think
on?
San Fran, like, there's a clear gap here. Like, this is pretty lucky for Tennessee, but whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to the victor goes the spoils. Like, they've made too many mistakes. San Fran, you don't deserve when you make that many mistakes.
The Hawaii Bowl was canceled. Is it like a weather thing or like, well, it's probably a COVID thing if I had to guess. Oh wow. What a play there by Contavious Street, inside pressure. No, that's too bad. I think you were the one that posted the showing like the bowl numbers, like the viewing. It's got to be really, really tough financially to stop one of those games or to cancel them. Really weird snap here. And they still get a decent completion, at least to put them in to all right field goal range. Was that a first down? That might have been a
I
first
think
down.
so.
What a play.
He's having a hell of a game, man.
That's tough. It's interesting. AJ Brown's had one hell of a game coming off of injury. We got a corner blitz coming up top. Oh wow, AJ Brown touchdown. Josh Norman just getting roasted.
Yeah, I got lucky, Mickey. I guess I don't know.
Oh, fat guy, I never asked you how the Suns game ended up going.
You didn't look?
No, I just remembered.
Suns won by 21.
That's terrific.
Yeah. I have to collect, but I think there might be. I don't think I'm gonna get it all at once. It's too much. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna have to get. I'm supposed to get some tomorrow, but we'll see how this works. Either way, it'll be fine. But I just didn't want
Yeah,
it to be a pain in the ass, and there's like a high probability of that now.
it's not good.
Yeah, but it's part of like being on this side of the counter, which is fine.
It's crazy how much the Titans have been able to kind of lean on Brown and Henry to have success on offense.
Yeah. It's 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 like one of those things. Like I always say, you can just spread it out over like a couple of guys, but like sometimes when you lose too many, you just can't. You can't really make it up, and I don't know. Also, too, I think AJ Brown's played like 3 healthy games. I don't even think he's a healthy player right now. So it's like it's interesting. He's having one hell of a game though. What a run by Debo Samuel. Holy smokes, man.
You didn't get to see, but on the last drive before the 4th and 1, they were 3rd and 5, and he had a run where like it had no business getting any yards, and he managed to pick up, get them to 4th and 1. It was pretty impressive.
That was a hold. That was such a big hold.
There was a flag
Yeah,
down,
that's got to be it.
and there it is, holding on number 50. Alex Mack takes a penalty. It's almost hard to believe Alex Mack is still playing. Like it's been a pretty good career for Alex Mack.
Yeah. Like he's had success on every team he's played on has been like, I guess the Browns weren't good, but like he played well for the Browns. He was on the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl team that went to the Super Bowl. I think he was on the Niners Super Bowl team. So he's had a reasonable amount of reasonable amount of success. He's like one of those guys that's like never gonna touch a Hall of Fame, but like has had like a nice solid career.
Well, I'm wondering how much of Shanahan's success is like because of having him as their center. Like it'd be interesting to know like how much of an impact that has.
you can't like it's so marginal, but it's still like you'd rather have it than not. They even had Debo Samuel in the last two plays. What a play, man, for Jimmy G to get out of the way of that.
They've got him off the field. Like it's almost a guarantee that Samuel's probably going to get the ball in this next play. It's like they just have to manage his reps so much. Like it kind of reminds me of Julio Jones when he was on Atlanta,
I don't
where
really.
it's like if he was, yeah, like especially at the tail end, like they pretty much only had him on the field when he was going to get the ball. Like it's
I don't remember that.
like this play has screen written all over it. And they do it.
They gonna go for it here?
They're punting. Garoppolo's coming off the field. I think punting is probably the right spot here. It looks like Tennessee will start on their own 3. But that's like it's a little bit different, right, Mickey? Like it's a 4th and 9 compared to a 4th and 6. Like just a little bit different. I'll pull up what the 4th down bot said. It's interesting that the win percentage going for it 4th and 1 compared to that 4th and 6, that penalty, it cost them 5% win percentage. Like think about how
Really?
big
That's
that penalty
huge.
is. Well, at least like the go for it was 66% win percentage on 4th and 1 versus 61 on 4th and 6. And it's because the success rate goes from 70% down to 42. And then I'm praising them for punting it there. And punting was really bad. Win percentage, 3.5% win percentage to go for it. So wrong for me by 3.5%. But it's like Mickey, you bring up an interesting point. Like, what makes you decide to do that once and then not the second time?
Yeah.
Because it shows like indecisiveness. It shows maybe you're just reacting off results. Like it's interesting to ponder and think about.
I don't understand why you call that play if you're just gonna punt it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like the chances of it getting on 4th and or 3rd and 20, whatever, 23 or 21 with Samuel is like not that like he's obviously a higher percent. It's probably like 7%. Like whereas opposed, you probably have like a 20% chance if you chuck it downfield, especially with PI. Um,
like they were lined up, like there wasn't a guy within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage outside of the D line. So like are you going to just throw it up blindly when there's like six guys in zone coverage standing there? But
Well, it's not blindly. It's obviously you're going to look, but
it's,
what's the point if you don't get it, like, and you're not going to go for it? To me, that means you just wasted time for the other team to, do you know what I mean, to secure a win.
yeah. Mickey brings up a point here that Vrabel has the pulse of his team, where Shanahan
Well, I don't think he has an analytics sheet. Otherwise, he would
has
have
his
gone for it.
analytics sheet.
Like it's hard to say he's following analytics when he doesn't go for it in that spot, right?
The double teaming AJ, I agree with. Like he's the only guy that's hurting you. You figured they'd be able to figure out how to
Oh,
take him out of the
that could
game,
have
but
gone to the house. Do you see the speed going into that line?
yeah, I thought he was breaking one too. Is that Street again? No, that's Jones. Third and 8 from the Titans here. Well, especially Mickey, like it's the Belichick stuff, right? Like you just take away whatever they're best at. And if they can beat you doing whatever they're second best at, then great. Like Tennessee gets it done on 3rd and 8.
Dude, they've converted at a very high rate. On third down, because they've had like third and like not manageable for the whole game.
The entire game. And they're still winning.
That's a nice play from that tight end. Anthony Firkser, good job.
That's got to be a penalty on San Fran. It doesn't look like it's going to be. Bizarre.
That is bizarre.
Man.
We haven't seen this formation yet. Holy smokes.
They're obviously going to him on this play. Oh, they did a pick play and they ran into each other. What a disaster. There's a flag on this play close to the line of scrimmage.
Well, you got another chance.
Awesome special teams play from Tennessee.
Kern's a good player. And man, it's about as good as it gets.
I'm just looking at the fourth down bot, fat guy, and they have an article describing how it was made. They have a link to every line of code that powers me, and it has further investigation to league-wide trends in fourth down decisions. It also has a college version.
It's kind of cool.
I'm lucky because my family has they have like a business that they run from home, so I'm just in one of their offices working. But trying to figure out what's the I'll share the link to it on in Discord in the resources tab in case anybody wants to look into that fourth down bot further. These skill position players on San Fran really try to get every single yard they can. They have the most. San Fran has the most 90+ yard touchdown drives. I would not.
No, me neither.
It wouldn't be my first guess.
It's only 5. That's such a high, like, I don't know. The variance is pretty, like, high on that.
Well, the thing that's tough is like how many teams actually start within their own 10.
Yeah.
Haven't heard from Dylan at all.
You cut out pretty bad there for me. I'm not sure if it went clear to him.
Said haven't heard from Dylan at all. But Dylan still makes his picks every week, so
Yeah, he set his fantasy lineup. He
still
got
been playing
eliminated last
fantasy.
week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he beat Jay owes him money, doesn't he?
Well, Jay said that he owes him a T-shirt, so he was asking if you could send him a T-shirt,
If I could?
and then he would pay. He asked us, and he said he'd pay you, but I don't know.
I'm sure I could do it, yeah.
just have to. I couldn't tell if he was serious or joking.
Oh my god, that's the craziest catch ever. We have Dylan's address, right?
I
Mickey
don't
does.
personally have it. We also don't know if he even lives in the same place.
That's
I'm sure if
true.
we reached out to Dylan, he'd let us know. It's easy to email him. It's pretty crazy that like Juszczyk is over there against a corner and they're still making plays towards him. It's
Yeah.
Man, I feel like they need oxygen on the sideline for Deebo Samuel. He just always looks out of breath, man. The guy plays so hard whenever he gets the ball.
Holy smokes. We got a game.
He even switched the ball to his like outside hand so he could stiff arm. He's just out of breath. Like I think his just the wind got knocked out of him, if I had to guess. But that's how the guy looks after like every time he touches the ball.
Holy, is
He
two.
leads the NFL in yards per receptions and yards per rush.
That's never happened before.
That's also like such a quirky stat. Like how many carries has he had?
Yeah.
And like he just said, I'm all right. Lip reading on the sideline.
I always enjoy that, like, the Gatorade bottles never actually really have Gatorade in them. They have water, you know.
And then an Ayuk touchdown.
Wow. He kicked the ball in there. Is that allowed?
Just gonna say, I feel like that used to be a penalty. Like I don't know if it still is.
Yeah. It's another 90 yards, so they're really leading.
I just don't know what those linebackers are doing on that play. Like big extra point here for Robbie Gould. Oh man. That
That was
almost
as
got blocked
close.
and he almost missed. That was pretty crazy.
What a game between both
They're
guys.
yeah, they're highlighting that in the BRFG league. I've got Samuel and I'm going up against AJ Brown, so they've pretty much canceled each other out. But still 2 minutes left and possibly more. So still a lot to be done between those guys. See, this is where I thought that Tennessee would have more success just because San Fran would be a little bit more tired. But I don't know with how this has gone. Yeah, already the 2 minute warning. Both teams have been fairly efficient.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd call Tennessee's efficient. Like their drives seem like very high, like lucky high variance. Because it's like 3rd and 8 every time, and they've just converted at an obscenely high rate.
Yeah.
The guy is conveniently covering a certain word on another guy's shirt there. I don't know if you saw.
No, I didn't. But they pick up a first down here, so clock keeps running. Both teams still have all three timeouts.
Second and 6, yeah. That's PI. Are you crazy? Like, that's okay. They did call it. They just got a free timeout, eh?
It worked out pretty well.
That was so obvious.
Oh, wow. Pretty much winning run there from Tannehill. San Fran still has three timeouts though, so
They might want
if
to
they
use
can
them.
get the stop, there's a chance they could get the ball back, but it's going to be tough.
He doesn't
Fat
miss
Randy
now,
doesn't
Mickey.
miss.
He wasn't that good when he started with the Texans. They might want to run the ball up the gut with Foreman like 3 times. That would be my choice.
That Titans ball boy is not even being a ball boy anymore. It looks like he's like holding play calling sheets.
Oh, is he upgraded? That's good for him.
I think so.
He's put his time in.
He has. So this next play will take him down to like 10 seconds. So this pretty much is ball game with how late it was in the clock. Something I didn't take into
Surprised they ran
consideration.
Hilliard there. Oh, they easily
Yeah,
could,
Niners.
Mickey. We were just talking about one that would be fun, and that would be. Bad game from your quarterback? That's enough to lose.
Yeah, so they're pretty much going to be able to take this down to the waning seconds. Randy Bullock has 6 game winners. Tennessee wins this game. This was an impressive win for them.
It is. It really is.
It doesn't look like much wind either.
There's some. Why else would they move it to the right hash?
Some kickers just have a preference where they
Yeah, but
like to line up.
I would imagine if he's right-footed though, like.
Oh, it just slides in. It's good. Puts the Titans up 3 with 4 seconds left.
You do a squib here then?
Yeah, we'll see what they end up doing. It's really hard to tell from that camera angle how close it was.
Yeah, that was close.
Field goals are such a just a bizarre thing in most sports. Like, it's funny how like the entire game can come down to just some guy kicking a ball through an upright. So they just kick it out the back of the end zone. So we're gonna get one more play here from San Fran. Look at this defensive lineup from Tennessee.
I even think they're missing a guy like. How many yards does Samuel?
Impressive win for Tennessee.
How does that work in fantasy?
So this was an
curiosity?
interesting thing that. So this was an interesting thing brought up on Reddit because they said Chase Claypool's stats were going to break like the NFL computers, and how I think it works is whoever's the last guy with the ball, and they just get the yardage of wherever they're tackled.
So Samuel doesn't get credit for the catch?
I don't think so, but he probably gets credit for the reception, but I don't know if he gets credit for the yards. it's showing him 17 and a half still. So it looks like nothing for the yardage. I guess we could, like, if we go to NFL.com,
Yeah, go drive by
pull up
drive.
the scores, should tell us what the what the NFL.com site has a tab that says available odds, and then when I click on it, it says that I'm not in a state with legalized sports betting. It's interesting.
Yes.
But the NFL site seems broken to me because I can't even pull up any scores. Weird.
All right, Big Rye. Well, I got a jet.
All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us for the live stream. And we'll see you guys. We'll be releasing the picks video on Sunday.
All right, see you guys.